you tell I'm in denial?
You can't stay at the top forever.
I was also very surprised when I looked at my phone and saw Joe Girardi dismissed.
Well, I think mine were with common sense.
I think now belongs in the all-time greats top 10.
Boston, I really think only got to this point because of a guy named Chris Middleton being out for the Bucks.
That power play just was unbearable. It was humming.
Man, am I happy. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew he was going to come back.
When I think of New York Yankees now is Judge, probably people in the past when Jeter was coming up.
I would be shocked. A little bit hurt.
Hey, this is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, TexasFootball.com, and Valley Sports Southwest. You are listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin. I'm joined by the man who posed this question, but also said 3 possible answers. I know 2, and I was thinking of a third guy, but I'm curious if it's the guy you and I agree on the third option, but of course, Austin.
Yeah, there's easy answers to this, and some that I do think should be considered. Players that we can throw out immediately: Jaden Daniels, rookie QB, going against a very good team in the Lions. I don't think there's much that he can lose. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. I don't really see how he can lose, even if he has a really bad game. You're given those. CJ Stroud, I don't think so, because you're going against the Chiefs. It's kind of a bad matchup anyways for them. Matthew Stafford's already won a Super Bowl, did a lower seed on the road. I don't think so. And we'll go with the 2 easy ones with the most to lose. We can have a discussion about which one we think has the most here in a second, but we'll clear out these 2 immediately. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson both have a lot to lose this weekend. Who is your third that you were thinking about?
Okay, I keep thinking I'm going to sneeze, but I'm not. I don't know why that. But yeah, no, that's a little behind the curtain. I'm thinking about Jared Goff, but I don't think so. Like, he's had a great year, but most to lose. I'm not going to go Jared Goff. I was thinking Jared Goff. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts.
Are you predicting what I'm going to think, or are you saying which one is your third? Or both?
I'm trying to think. I'm predicting Jalen Hurts for you. For me, man, dude, that's tough. Because easily it's the first 2, but I'm trying to think. Because I don't think Jared Goff has a lot to lose in the playoffs. He has a lot to gain.
You don't think he has a lot to lose?
Well, it's kind of going off my view.
You're saying that if he has, like, everyone's complaining about what happened with Sam Darnold. If he has a Sam Darnold performance in this game and they lose to the Commanders,
I think that's kind of the quarterback I view. Like, he does okay in the playoffs. I think he's in a great system. He is still a good quarterback, but I'm saying if he doesn't perform well, my view's not gonna change as much with him. But I'm also in the same thing with Jalen Hurts.
a lot of people are considering Jared Goff an MVP candidate this year.
That to me is far-fetched. I understand it. I get where they're coming from because it's the Lions and like he did have perfect completion. But I also just think that he benefits from a great offense. I do think if he does do badly, it's gonna be on him. So okay, based on your reaction, are you saying Jared Goff?
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate on both sides. I want you to say who you think I
know. I'm trying to. On who I think you have?
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna say you have Jalen Hurts.
Okay, you're right.
Okay.
But I think that Jared Goff has a serious consideration because if the Rams, a lot of people were saying that Jared Goff, I know you just have a lot of different takes on players than other people do. A lot of people are saying that Goff is better than you think Goff is.
I think Goff is very good. I do think.
Let me just ask you this question: Is he better than Dak, fully healthy?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Which would mean that you consider him a top 10 quarterback?
Yeah. There's going to be some big shakings in the quarterback rankings because I do think he's better than Dak, especially with the new Dak injury and just because Dak, to me, I love his mobility. That's to me what made him great. Makes him a really good quarterback, but he doesn't have that. Jared Goff, I think he does well in that offense, and it's been cool to see that just kind of up. I think he's a good player and he makes the right decisions, but I don't know if he makes those plays. Like those key plays. I think that's the thing.
Well, but here's the thing. I think if he makes a key play, you're going to say it was the offense.
If he
Because that's always, you can always make that excuse when he has a good offense, is that was the offense, not him. Right? So it's really, where do you draw the line?
I think I draw the line in playoffs.
No,
me,
but
that's where.
I mean, he got them to the NFC Championship last year.
Yeah.
He's played in the Super Bowl game. And I know he didn't play well in the Super Bowl. He played well going up to the Super Bowl.
To me, in my personal opinion, I'm going to keep him at a top 10 quarterback no matter what happens. Even if he does like 5 interceptions or something, I'm going to go, it's just the playoffs. I don't view him as a great playoff performer.
And why is that?
I think I do kind of look at that Super Bowl and just kind of, it wasn't a great Super Bowl. That offense was really neutralized, but that's also him at a young age. And so I do think he's grown from that. And we do have the NFC Championship game where he did have that game. Yeah, it was that game-winning drive against the Bucks. I want to see how he.
Jared Goff in his career in the playoffs has an 8-2 touchdown to interception ratio.
Mm-hmm. What's his completion, or like how many?
62%, 61.69 technically.
Okay, really good. But yeah, I don't see him. He can just really move up for me. I don't see him losing a lot.
I mean, he hasn't thrown a pick in the playoffs since the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's played 5 playoff games since that game, so.
But I think the thing that I'm also thinking is Jalen Hurts has a lot to lose.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is someone that a lot of people thought was an MVP candidate a couple of years ago. Obviously, while he didn't win it, he was second MVP voting. They go all the way to the Super Bowl, and he hasn't thrown a pick since he played against the Bucks in his rookie year. Not rookie year, first year starting, I should say. But I think a lot of people don't view him as a elite QB at the moment, or if they do, he's on that fringe. So I think losing to a team that a lot of people thought were dead in the water a pretty long time ago would be pretty damaging.
And to me, people don't view him as a great passer. And I do think that's what we saw when he was viewed as an MVP candidate. He was a great passer and he was throwing deep balls to A.J. Brown. And they've really, A.J. Brown, of course, you have the thing with the book. And that passing offense is not doing well. It's, to me, that's where I could see him losing because I view him as a great passer. I do think he was phenomenal. Last year, they just struggled offensively. They brought in a new offensive coordinator with Kellen Moore, and he's done well running the ball. But it's, to me, those key passes. Can they have a good, because they have the weapons for a passing attack. They're just, to me, the ball's not being forced to A.J. Brown or thrown to A.J. Brown well. And to me, if there's a pick, interceptions from Jalen Hurts or just incomplete passes to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, then that's where I could see him lose more than Jared Goff.
Yeah, I think it's more he's had high highs, and it's also, I don't know how much the I think the Lions, because they're such a good run team, I don't think it's necessarily because he's in a great system. Because I think the QB still in a great system has to perform if it's a pass-oriented system. It's just the fact that they're going to run the ball so much that I don't know how much of an impact he's going to be. But Jalen Hurts is also a big part of the rushing attack, even with Saquon. But I think we can move on to the top two. Who do you think has more to lose in this game between Lamar and Josh Allen? They play each other. The loser of this game easily has the most lost for a QB. But which one do you think loses more if they lose?
I think, kind of looking at it from just kind of the accolades, I think it's Lamar Jackson because of the 2 MVPs and just kind of the way his team's performed and kind of fallen flat in the playoffs before. To me, that's who I think has more to lose more if you look at the outside world. It's really tough for me, and I am kind of – Josh Allen's having a great year, which is kind of like right after I dipped on him in the quarterback rankings, and because I know I had Dak above him and just interceptions, but he's been exceptionally well, played exceptionally well. But to me, I do think it's Lamar Jackson, just given his accolades of 2 MVPs, competed for a third, I think has a valid argument for a third MVP. But it's just like, okay, he's doing this all in the regular season, but then when it comes down to it, he's not getting wins. He's not getting to the AFC Championship game multiple times. Because last year was his first AFC Championship game, right? They lost to the divisional round to the Titans.
Yeah, that was his first.
So and that was after an incredible season for him too. So to me, I do think even if he plays well, I think he has the most to lose. Josh Allen probably going to win the MVP, doesn't have multiple MVPs, and has made it to the AFC Championship game, and he's faced the Chiefs. To me, that you do get an argument of like he's faced the Chiefs.
I think Josh Allen has more to lose because I think that he's the MVP this year, and he's playing at home.
Ooh.
To lose in Buffalo, I think is more damaging than Lamar going into Buffalo. As long as Lamar doesn't, if one of them plays horrible, then yeah, they obviously will have more to lose no matter what. But I think if you're looking at if both players play mediocre, both players play not necessarily their average, but play like an average QB. So they don't play great, but they don't also have a horrible game. I think Josh Allen has more to lose because I think most people consider him the MVP this year, even though Josh Allen, Lamar has a great argument. But Josh Allen is probably going to win MVP and is playing at home. And after what was disappointing last year, even though you lose to Kansas City in the divisional round, there's still the reminiscent of them losing to the Bengals and losing other games at home. I mean, they lost to the Chiefs at home. They lost to the Bengals at home. If you lose another game at home in the playoffs, I feel like that's extremely damaging to Josh Allen and his track record. Because even though Lamar has 2 MVPs, I think Josh Allen's going to get one of them this year. And so it kind of levels the playing field in that aspect. And to lose another home playoff game would be extremely damaging.
Yeah, I think there's valid arguments. I think it's razor edge. I like how you and I went different quarterbacks. And you do make a great point. There was that thing because I do think I said before I thought they were in upset territory. And it looked like that in the first half. Then they pulled away in the second half. But it was that stat. It said they were 8-0, so now they're 9-0 at home. And just kind of given what you talked about, I do understand that with Josh Allen. And I do think with the Bills, because, yeah, they both have a lot to lose. It's really just splitting hairs. But I do think the Bills' loss, if they were to lose, even if Josh Allen plays mediocre, I think a lot of the blame falls on Sean McDermott more. So I think Josh Allen gets.
But you always look at it. But if he won an MVP, you look at the MVP. I don't think you look at the coach.
Yeah, no, and that's why I think you make a great argument with it, because John Harbaugh is not bad, but to me, he doesn't make as many glaring mistakes as Sean McDermott.
But I feel like this is not the best example in the world, but if LeBron loses in a playoff series, we don't look at Tyronn Lue or we don't look at JJ Redick. We look at LeBron because it's LeBron, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's not the most perfect example, but I don't think non-Mavs fans, I think, look at Luka more for losing in the finals than they look at Jason
Yeah.
Kidd. So I think it's
Yeah.
more of the MVP caliber player gets looked at. Now, if it wasn't MVP caliber, right, and we're looking at, I guess it would be like the Eagles. If Jalen Hurts doesn't play terrible and they end up losing, Nick Sirianni's had bad moments this year, right? So I think that Nick Sirianni would be under more critique than Jalen Hurts. But in this case, where it's the MVP winner most likely, and even if he doesn't, he's obviously in contention for it. That gets more of the blame than the coach, unless there's a incredible gap. But if we're saying that everything held equal, I think that Josh Allen would be the one that is punished the most by not just the media, but his fan base.
Ooh, that'd be. Yeah, I think I go media because I will. Because I am kind of on a bias side. Like I want Lamar Jackson to win and play well. And then you do have the thing with Josh Allen, but I do think the media would go after more Lamar Jackson just given the two MVPs. But I do think you make a valid argument with Josh Allen, especially at home. And especially because that offense really goes through Josh Allen. You do have James Cook, but it's all complimentary to Josh Allen. I know that's with Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson has Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry, we've seen by himself lead his team to an AFC championship. So I think that if Derrick Henry doesn't play well, it's not because of Lamar Jackson. It's just like Lamar Jackson couldn't help while Derrick Henry struggled if they both played mediocre. But with Josh Allen, it's if he plays mediocre and his team doesn't win, their wide receiving core is not great. It's all this. It's up to Josh Allen. He's got to run the ball, and the thing is turnovers. Because to me, that's a mediocre Josh Allen game is turnovers.
I think that no matter, yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but it's both of the QBs have been heavily critiqued throughout their career, especially their playoff performances. But I feel like, again, I mean, the last time they've lost in a
Divisional round?
I'm trying to think. Last year they lost to the Chiefs in Buffalo. The year before that would have been 22 season, 23 year.
That's the Bills. Or that's the Bengals.
Yeah, that's Bengals at home. The year before that, who did they lose to? Did they lose to the Chiefs in...
All right. So it's
No.
2022.
Yeah, let me see. Let me look at it.
Well, it's the Chiefs' first Super Bowl, right?
No.
It's
I mean,
that's the Eagles Super Bowl. Eagles,
yes.
Chiefs.
Yes.
Shoot, when did they play? Because Chiefs met.
They lost.
Bills.
They lost to the Chiefs that year.
Again? Was that the?
Yeah.
No.
But that was at
That's
Arrowhead.
Yeah, that's
no.
not
That is the OT.
game.
That is the OT.
That is the OT game.
Wait.
No, OT games. Where is that the OT game?
No, it is. Yeah.
What? I thought the OT game was earlier.
Yeah, that was 21, but that was the year that they.
I think that's when the OT games when they lose to the Bengals.
What?
The AFC Championship game.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's 21. That was the 22 season.
Okay, what's? Oh, it's 22 season.
Yeah, because this year's the 24 season.
Yeah. Okay.
So last year they lost to the Chiefs. The year before that they lost to the Bengals, and the year before that's the overtime game.
I was thinking 22 was the first Super Bowl Chiefs win in this back-to-back. But yeah, no, I was a year ahead. Got it. Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page now. I was ahead.
Yeah, so they've lost back-to-back. The last two playoff losses are at home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, you make a good point with the home record. But yeah, dude, it's going to be bad for whoever loses this. Oh, dude. And I don't think it's going to be the fan bases because I think the fan bases love their QB.
It depends on
Love
what
them.
happens. I think it really does depend.
I just think the national media is going to go after. I'm like, I might go after. I don't know.
It depends on what happens. We'll have to see what happens. It's going to be an exciting game and one that's going to define both of their careers no matter what happens.
I hope it goes to OT.
There's
Because
new
you get
OT
the real
rules.
OT now. The OT rules is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope it's so good. I just don't want to blow out. I want it down to the last play.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So follow us for that review when that happens. We'll be watching the games and we'll keep you updated. And we also do other sports. Be on the lookout for more videos as we are a daily podcast. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.